We are coming to you from the farm for a big-time volleyball matchup. Maples Pavilion, the scene for a top 10 tilt. The 8th-ranked Florida Gators versus the number 2 Stanford Cardinal. And welcome inside Maples Pavilion, everyone. Troy Clarity, Nicole Branna, and you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And Nicole, we're only 1 week into the volleyball season, and we've already seen some incredible results. Who knows what we could be in for the rest of the way?
I think it's going to be an exciting year. Nonetheless, the parity, the talent, it just keeps growing every year. And again, these upsets we're seeing already, and I expect to see some more throughout the season.
Well, no matter who wins today, it won't be an upset, but it will be a big result. No shortage of key talent on the floor tonight for both teams. Let's start for Stanford, though, because they have the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Year in Kendall Kipp.
Well, Kendall Kipp, I gotta say, one of the top opposites in the country, if not the best opposite we will see. She is so talented around the court. If she's not coming in to crush the ball from the front row, she is attacking the back row. She has proven to be unstoppable each and every single night. Pac-12 Player of the Year, first time All-American, you name it, she's got it on the resume, and I'm excited to see her growth even again this next year.
Well, Kipp, the grizzled veteran, Florida, being led in part by a fantastic freshman, Kennedy Martin, with a weekend debut for the ages.
Well, how about having a little fresh freshman coming right in and stepping into that role? Not easy to do, but Florida lost their 2 top point scorers, kill leaders last year, and Kennedy Martin, coming in as a freshman, has just handled the pressure well. 45 kills this past weekend in both matches, and she is coming in here confident, poised, and I'm excited to see how she matches up tonight against a very tough Stanford team.
But 45 kills in 1 weekend will certainly get you in the team picture. Well, here we go. A big test for 2 volleyball powerhouses. Drop whatever you're doing and watch the Gators, the Cardinal, the first serve straight ahead, right here on Pac-12 Network. Gators and the Cardinal about set to go here from Maples Pavilion. Here is the Florida lineup. Nicole, Alexis Stuckey, one of the best setters in the country.
She is definitely one of the best setters in the country, and I think tonight we've got 2 of the best setters in the country going against each other. So, you know, let's see what she can bring. She's setting a new freshman on the outside, and they seem to have a great connection. So I think we're going to see a lot of firepower coming from Florida and really mixing those sets up, trying to get the middles more involved as well.
Mary Wise, the head coach of Florida, Kevin Hambly, and his setter, Cammie Minor, terrific herself.
She has just every single year gotten better and better. Kevin Hambly told us that she's been working on footwork a lot this spring season, really getting that ball. They want to push the middle as well because we know their pin hitters can put that ball away, but you've got to get those middles going, and something that Minor's really been working on, that connection, and as she called in an interview, a loop of feedback with her hitters, getting that feedback and getting that connection going.
Well, here we go. The Cardinal and the Gators. Enjoy the match. Minor serving. Met at the net immediately. That's Kendall Kipp. You know what she does.
Well, she is a large block out there, putting up a huge solid wall, if you will. So this Florida team is going to have to find ways to get around that block.
The soft touch dug out by Alana Ogilvy. Quick hit. Cardinal ready for it. And the point for Florida. Gabrielle Essex settling that one.
Well, you don't want to give her even a close ball on that overpass, so you can see what's going to happen tonight. She will put it straight down.
Essex had 10 kills against Stanford when these 2 squads met in a 5-set barn burner last year. We'll talk more about that as the show goes along. Ellie McKissick with the serve for the Gators. Kipp gets it down.
Well, that was a beautiful swing, powerful hit from Kipp. Not a perfect pass, but you know what? Out-of-system set, and something she's really been working on this season is that out-of-system attack and putting that ball away.
Kipp did not play in Stanford's season opener at Northern Colorado, made her debut against Colorado State, had 21 kills on the day. That one sails long. We're tied at 2. Kendall Kipp, the 5th year from Newport Beach, California, the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Year. Florida serving. Kennedy Martin, we told you about her at the start of the show. A quick one. Kenna Bicini getting in the mix for the Cardinals.
And that's exactly what they want to do, is push those middles so we can get those, not we, excuse me, but they can get those outside pins open and not have a double block. Something they've been working on with that setter connection to the middle blockers. Bicini doing an excellent job.
Bicini, the 5th-year senior from Lexington, Kentucky. I'm told they have a pretty decent program there. That's out of bounds. Point for the Cardinals.
Well, that was a laser beam coming over the net. That barely got over the net, and that had some major heat behind it. Just pinged right off of her arms. Stanford bringing it from the service line from the beginning.
Ogilvy again. Terrific placement. That's Anna Dixon, the graduate transfer from Missouri.
Well, Anna Dixon has come in and really added so much to this team. She is willing to play whatever position she is needed to. Not usually a middle. Again, hasn't played since 7th grade, but came in and stepped right in and really added a lot for this Florida Gators.
Yeah, normally a grad transfer doesn't volunteer to move to a new position. Mary Wise, very appreciative of that development.
Well, middle is not so easy when you're trying to figure out where to go on that block all the time. So she is definitely putting in the work and doing a nice job for them.
That went out of bounds from Elliott Rubin, the sophomore from Los Angeles. So the serve from Emily Canaan, who had 4 serve aces against Stanford in that 5th set last year.
And now we can see why she brought her back in. She wants to have a repeat of that match and get those aces going. And for Florida, they need to serve tough. Stanford is a very efficient side-out team, so you've got to bring the heat and try to score from the service line.
Yeah, 4 straight serve aces in the 5th set, yet Stanford was still able to win that one 15-10, come away with it in Gainesville last year. Just a bonkers match to watch. Stuckey reacting well, but can't get it to fall.
Well, Florida is definitely ready, on their toes, ready for those overpasses, and they've taken advantage on those last 2 points when Stanford hasn't quite had the ball control. Florida's getting that action at the net.
Well, one thing Mary Wise told us that she wanted to see her team do was limit Stanford's runs. She told us that it'll be tough for Florida to string together points, but so far, right now, they're on a 4-0 run. And that 4-0 run comes to an end. There's Mary Wise in her 33rd year as the head coach at Florida, the only active D1 coach with more than 1,000 career wins.
Very decorated coach, done such a nice job at Florida.
Not much Florida could do there.
Well, that's a tough one. You just got to try to keep that ball in the court, try to rely on your block. That set a little bit off. Dixon looked like kind of couldn't see where that one was going.
So Kendall Kipp to serve. The wind and the punch down. Sophia Victoria.
Well, she really got on top of that ball, came in strong, nice, faster tempo set to the outside, and wow, that was some power.
The senior from Puerto Rico had 11 kills, hit .444 in Florida's season opening win over the then 8th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. Well, I hate when that happens.
Doesn't feel good, that's for sure.
No.
Just kind of a weird hit on that ball.
Florida winners over Penn State. They stayed in Tampa. They were originally supposed to play South Florida at the Emily Arena, but a scheduling conflict forced them to move that match rather to the Bulls' home court arena. And the Gators were able to get the comeback win there to run their record to 2-0 in 5 sets. Meanwhile, Stanford taking an 8-7 lead.
I like how Victoria's coming in. The last one, she cranked an angle. This one turns it down to the line. She's really having Stanford on their toes, trying to guess where to block.
Just barely cleared the tape from the back row. Kennedy Martin.
And that's one way to get a kill. She is coming in quick, fast tempo from the back row. 6 rotation outside hitter, so she is powerful from the front row. They rely on her in the back row to score points to them, and as a freshman, just coming in, making a big impact for Florida.
Freshman from Fort Mill, South Carolina. The back set to Sammy Francis. Almost falls. It's Julia Blashoff, the freshman for the Cardinal, meeting the Gators at the net. And Victoria with a couple of big sequences here in this first set.
Well, here's what I love. Mikissa gave a little bit of a tight set on that first one. Florida goes up into the block and covers it, which gives them another chance to get a strong attack and score high hands off of Stanford.
Stuckey serving. That's just outstanding stuff from Kendall Kipp.
Well, that's some good vision, coming in strong every single time when you go up, not giving away a slow arm, a fast arm, whatever you're doing, but she really set that up. Strong approach. You can see 3 blockers are going up for her on that back row. Hitting the campfire, open part of the court.
So many tools in the toolbox that she's been able to develop throughout the course of her career.
Well, that's one thing Coach Hambley said. He's really trying to help her develop into a top, even international player, you know, for the Olympics, for the international game.
Kennedy Martin. Pacini tries. Martin again. McKissick the set. Martin the finish.
Well, Stanford had 2 up for that block, but wasn't closed. So Martin able to push that one through with some power, went right in between that the Stanford block. Didn't quite close it.
Martin, the current SEC Player of the Week and Offensive Player of the Week. So just one weekend into her collegiate career, she's already got 2 awards on her mantle. How about that?
Not too shabby.
Blashoff. Long. 11-9 Florida.
Not quite on top of that attack, so got the ball, looked like kind of right on it, a little bit under. Didn't get that the top spin on it to get it down.
It's Julia Blashoff, the freshman from Carlsbad, California. 4-time high school All-American. Was the Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of California last season. Blashoff tries again and gets it down the line.
Well, there's a correction for you. Comes in, makes an error, goes right back, comes in strong, and she doesn't tip it. No, she comes in and rips it down the line. Wide open, finds the open court.
Kevin Hambley calls her talented in every aspect. It might take her a little bit of time to get comfortable. Kevin has all the confidence in the world that she'll get there. Ogilvy on top of that one. Overpass and the point for Stanford.
That's right. Florida's setter Stuckey at the net cannot break the plane because she is back row. Stanford able to go over and get a touch on that ball, so point for Stanford.
Stanford's 2 wins this season coming at Northern Colorado and at Colorado State. As that serve goes long. Florida back on top, 12-11. And apparently there was a raucous atmosphere both in Greeley and in Fort Collins. Packed houses against the Cardinal. Stanford kind of had to dig deep at times to come away with a couple of hard-earned road wins. Did get the sweep against Northern Colorado, but took 4 sets against the Rams. Sent back. How about that for the Gators?
Well, that was an impressive block. Just from this vision, it looked like her entire arm was over the net before that ball even could cross it. That is impressive. Really pressing over, closing that block. That's exactly what you want to see.
McKissick serving. That's into the Florida bench area. Gators with their largest lead so far of this set.
Florida's serving tough and taking advantage when they have the opportunity and coverage and really putting the ball away.
Stuckey sets up Dixon. To Kip. Set back. Dixon and Martin.
Well, Dixon did a nice, solid job closing that block in the left hand, pressing over the net, closing off that angle. That is a deadly block with Martin and Nixon.
And after a slow start, the Gators are cooking. They lead the Cardinal 15-11, set number 1. That's Kevin Hambley, the Stanford head coach in his 7th year running the show here on the farm. Troy Clarity, Nicole Brandon here with you. And Nicole, you and I had a chance to catch up with Kevin before today's match, and he admitted to us, given how last year's season ended for them, losing on this floor to the University of San Diego in the regional final, that motivated them a bit. And this group has been committed to winning and making an even deeper run this time around.
Well, last year they were very talented and they lost before they felt they should have. So now they've got more depth on their roster and they still have their starters back and they have that fire in their eye, even more because of that loss. So that is dangerous times 2, if you ask me, because this Stanford team played very well last year. That heartbreak, you just bring it with you through that season of training and you just don't forget about it. So I think they're coming out this year with an extra fire in their eye, and today Florida's coming out strong and pushing them, and they've got Stanford's the team to beat. They're playing very well.
Yeah, Kevin Hambley, let's do a role play. You are Kevin. What did you just tell your squad in the huddle during that timeout?
Well, it's the first game here, you know, for them. It's a big matchup. Just take a deep breath. Kevin is a very calm and cool coach. He coached me for 4 years. Loved having him. He's very smart coach, and I think just a calm presence and keeping the team. We've been training, we know what to do. Get out there, give a good pass. You gotta have a pass to get the middles running and get the options open for the offense to start clicking. But Florida is taking advantage of the opportunities when they get them, and I think that's the difference right now.
The reigning Pac-12 Coach of the Year, Kevin Hambley. Florida right now on a 4-0 run. Stanford led early 4-2, but then the Gators recovered with their first 4-0 run of the set. They're in the middle of a second 4-0 run right now, trying to make it 5-0.
Well, Florida didn't want Stanford to go on runs, but they're happy with their runs.
Yep, they will certainly take how things have gone to this point. So a lot of ball left to be played, however. Twisting down the line and into the net. 16-11, check that.
That back set there, very tight, actually came under the net on the landing, but right now they just got to clean it up, get a good pass, get a set, get those connections going for Stanford.
Ellen McKissick, the senior from Windermere, Florida, serving. And Ogilvy wisely backs away from it. 16-12. McKissick had 13 digs against Penn State last week. Taylor Bevins serving, junior from St. Louis, Missouri. Back set from Stuckey and the missile from Martin.
So that ball is coming to the outside pin. Stuckey is running after it. You would think she would just set it straight up, but no, she channels that ball opposite, gets that blocker going, and gets Martin a great situation to put the ball away.
Stuckey, the SEC Freshman of the Year last season, an incredible campaign. Kip. That one is long. 17-13. Card back within 4. Stuckey underwent full knee surgery 6 weeks before last season began. They didn't expect her back until the second or third week of the season, but she came back, didn't miss a match. Stuckey tracks this one down. Rising and getting it down in the corner. That's Elia Rubin.
And she is bringing just as much power as anyone else. Ruben, an impressive player, getting that footwork off the net, coming in strong on top of the ball, right in between the block. Florida didn't close it, and she took advantage of it.
Ruben had 10 kills and 7 digs against the Gators last season. 18-14 Florida now. Stanford has yet to record 3 points in a row. Serve errors for the Cardinal, not helping the cause. And with the serve. And Kip with the hammer. 18-15.
Kip getting some hang time on that one. Coming in strong, arm back. She is an impressive player, and now keep an eye on her in the back row. They will set her some nice tempo sets back there, and she can bring it.
3 kills for Kip so far. Levin off of her, and it goes back beyond the court of play. 19-15.
Well, Anna Dixon is playing very well for Florida, not only with her attacking, but had 14 blocks in their match in this past weekend.
Tie the Florida record against South Florida. Heads up. There's Sammy Francis. We haven't talked about her too much in the show so far.
Nice backslide coming in down the line. Something they've really been trying to get going is getting the Stanford middles more into that offense. Again, relying on the pins a lot, but they really need to get those middles going to keep a diverse offense.
Serve error makes it 20-16. Sammy Francis, the 6'6" junior from San Diego. The All Pac-12 freshman team. And this year, she comes in healthy.
That's right, only 17 matches last year. I think she's primed and ready for this whole season.
Stuckey in self-defense, and she comes up with a smile there, but flash off with the point.
Sometimes you just got to get those hands up to block the face and hope it goes up.
Yep.
But Blashoff is bringing it too from the outside. Talented player and a good passer. Working on that decision-making of when to hit hard, when to tip, when to use the high hands.
And that's just part of the progression of being a freshman, right?
Yes. A lot of freshmen out here today, coming in, stepping in, making a difference, but, you know, coming in and playing at this level, a little bit different than high school, that's for sure.
Of course, it also helps when the freshmen can be early enrollees, come in during the spring and help out, kind of get their feet wet a little bit. Case certainly for Florida and Kennedy Martin, a couple of their other freshmen as well. It's becoming the case now for Stanford as well. They're starting to get into the early enrollee game. Blashoff. Stuckey sets. Minor to Kip. Kiss it. Well done. Hopefully you're returning the favor. That one bounces just out of bounds. 22-17.
Well, Blashoff had 2 blockers out there trying to go angle, and that's the second one that's kind of gone wide, not quite getting on top of it, which is trying to attack that sharp angle.
Here's Trinity Adams serving, the junior from Radford, Virginia. That falls 23-17.
Yeah, Florida is doing a nice job from the service line, really putting it in good spots. Stanford's having trouble, I think, with the service game that Florida's bringing right now.
Adams with a career-high 11 digs against the Cardinal last year, but sends that one into the net. Stanford trying to find a way to stay in this set. Cami Minor serving. Jordan Harvey in the match for the first time for the Cardinal. And now it's 23-19.
There we go. You can see 1 point at a time. That's all you got to do. Just focus on 1 point at a time. Get yourself back in this game.
Now it's 24-19 and a set point for the Gators.
Florida.
Surveyor number 6 for the Cardinal. McKissick to get it started.
Yep, Florida really handled the service line, put the pressure on Stanford, came out strong from the get-go. Stanford's got to get that ball control going and try to get some offense going, but really impressed with how Florida came out.
Cardinal got the early lead, but then Florida the rest of the way. They take the first set, 25-19.
You're watching Pac-12 Network, where champions play.
Of the Pac-12. That's a look high above the place they call the farm. Main quad, the foothills off in the distance. Florida is in town, and they took set 1 against Stanford, 25-19. This is a top 10 matchup. Here's the rest of the top 10. Wisconsin, your new number 1 after Texas suffered a loss over the weekend.
Quite a bit of movement in the ranks. That's right. Texas was number 1, falls to 7. Minnesota moves up to number 5. Stanford up to 2. And, you know, it's not going to be an easy road for Stanford after this. They're playing all ranked teams. I was looking at their schedule. They've got Texas next, number 7, number 12, Ohio State, number 5, Minnesota, number 4, Nebraska, number 3, Louisville, and number 18, Rice. So let's talk about a stacked preseason. They are ready, coming in, want to play the best to get ready for the season.
And that's exactly how Kevin Hamley likes it.
That's right.
To have his squad prove itself during the non-conference slate, figure things out, take some notes, and get ready for the NCAAs. Of course, that being said, the Pac-12 slate is pretty much a gauntlet too.
It is. It's one of the toughest conferences. 6 teams made the tournament last year, so that is a lot.
We begin the second set. Troy Clarity, Nicole Brana here. Stuckey going all out. Down the line. That's Kira Hudson, the freshman from Aurora, Illinois.
One of the freshmen coming in, helping Florida score some points, get some kills. That was a nice, not her hardest hit we've seen, but good placement and nice speed on the ball.
She had labrum surgery last year, spent the spring rehabbing, wasn't cleared to hit until June. And in a lot of ways, she's still getting up to speed. Mark tried to time it. Tries again, but that one sails out of bounds. Tied at 1.
Well, Florida, that first set, did a nice job on Kip. I don't think she's used to hitting 0-9-1, but they were putting a nice block up on her, so Stanford really needs to get her going back into her game.
3 kills on 11 swings with a couple of errors. Hudson gets it down. 2-1 Florida.
Hudson off to a nice start this set. Actually, first set negative in her efficiency, but coming in hot, turned it around. And that's one thing as a freshman is how will they bounce back? If you don't play your best in one set, how will you play that next set? So far, so good.
Sammy Francis tries the runner from the back row, spinning into our broadcast location.
They want Troy to get a touch on the ball.
There you go. 3-1 Florida.
I don't think broadcaster hands is one of the angles they're going for, but
no,
maybe.
No. That was an easy one. I could handle that one. There was one in pregame that almost caught us. That could have been interesting. Stuckey. Sammy. Francis. Lays it down. It's 3-2. The whammy from Sammy.
I think she liked that. Oh, there you go. I like that. I think she liked that set from Stuckey, but Stuckey is getting a hand on almost every single ball that comes over her way. That one not as controlled, so Francis taking advantage of it.
That's out.
Stanford had 6 serving errors in that first set, as opposed to Florida's 3. I know they want to go from it for the service line, but you got to have that balance. And, you know, Stanford has a nice front row, good block they put up. Sometimes just get that ball over if you can. Try to get the defense involved.
Minor on the run. Rubin gets the point.
Minor is so athletic, talented, getting her feet under that ball, giving a beautiful set to Rubin on the outside.
Minor has led the Pac-12 in assists per set in back-to-back years. A terrific career for her to this point, with more to come. The line from Victoria, and the point, 5-3.
Victoria attacking the middle. Stanford tried to get out there, but seam in the block. If there's an opening, she's been able to find it.
Not as long as some of the others on the skater squad, but a wicked fast arm. Wicked fast. I thought that was a New England term, not a Florida one.
It's trickling down the coast.
5-4 after the serve error. Stanford back within one. Anna Pringle coming back into the match. She appeared for a moment in the first set. Pringle, a sophomore from La Jolla.
Stanford going for that ball, and the ball's just not dropping. All of them are just going about 5 to 10 feet out of bounds.
It's just a simple adjustment that you need to make, or how do you...
Just a different hand on the ball, take a little off, or take a little bit of a step back from the service line. Wow, that's one way to score. Going up 2 hands, deception to Florida. That was beautiful by Cami Minor. And a perfect pass, which you wouldn't think you'd dump on, but that is the ultimate time. Florida's thinking she's gonna set that one to her hitters, but gets a powerful kill.
And Minor really added the dump to her toolbox last year. A real big-time weapon for her. A more conventional point, not forthcoming.
Well, that looked like almost Stanford's thinking a touch on the block, so let's see what coach will do.
Yeah, Kevin Handley has the card up. And it is a touch.
Getting the 1-finger single signal from the referee, which means he's challenging the touch off the block.
The officials making the signal to let everyone know exactly what is being looked at. If they put up 1 finger, it's a touch. 2, it's whether the ball's in or out or not. 3, at the net. 4, attack. 5, serve. Let's show you what we have here. Saw the line. Let's take a look down the net. The net is
looks like Kip immediately put the touch up, thought she could see that off the block.
Yeah, she immediately put it up. A couple of other young ladies on the floor put it up as well. A reminder of the challenge rules. Each team starts with 2. If you win, you keep it. You get 1 added in the 5th set if you need to have 1 added. Otherwise, you stay at 2 because teams cannot receive more than 2 challenges. So, a refresher on the challenge rules is, better living through technology, right? You've got the angles, you can look at things, you can see what's happening, and you can make the correct call.
Well, this game is just getting faster and faster, so I can imagine there's going to be a few mistakes here and there, but it is hard to see every single thing. But the refs do an excellent job out here, looking at every single thing they can, and with these challenges, taking their time to make sure they can see.
Oh, and the call is reversed.
So Stanford will keep their challenge and keep 2.
And equally as important, perhaps, for the Cardinal, it's a tie set. Cami Minor, what a talented player. Coming off of a 48 assist performance at Colorado State. Also added 10 digs and a kill against the Rams. That one's out, 7-6 for Florida.
Seems to be the same miss for Stanford, just that long off the end line. Trying to push Florida deep.
Adams to serve. Rising, but not inbounds. Jordan Harvey giving that one a shot. The freshman from Salt Lake City.
Well, that was a beautiful pass set up from Harvey, and she went thumb down the line just a little too much. Florida giving her that line to attack.
Heads up.
Now that was a beautiful set from Ogilvy in the back, and that is one thing that she has been working on as well, is getting a perfect set to her hitters for out of system, and that was perfection right there.
Kevin Hambley told us that maybe Ogilvy is a little bit undervalued in terms of terrific passing and offense as well. Obviously the barrel of the year. But can get it done offensively as well. Stuckey to Hudson. And push that one straight into the net.
Trying to put the power over there on that one. It didn't clear the net. Ogilvy getting some nice sets here in the backcourt, and she's setting those hitters well. And that's one thing too, is if you get a perfect set and put it away, that's great, but you really need to be able to put out a system away as well. That really elevates you as a hitter.
How about that? Martin again. It's her 5th kill of the day.
Coach Mary Wise said Martin has been such a great learner. She had a good spring season, really saw a chance for her to be special for this program, and you know, for going off the start of the season, she's doing quite well.
Yeah, 27 kills against South Florida, hitting .449, adding 6 total blocks and a couple of digs too. That was putting in work. Florida's back row putting in work in that sequence. Kip skips off of Trinity Adams. The point for the Cardinal, ties it up.
Free ball to Stanford, and that's exactly what you want to do. You get an opportunity for a perfect pass, chance to score against a tough team. Florida playing very well. You've got to get those opportunities and put them away. And now Stanford is taking the charge on that.
McKissick handling the missile. That's out of bounds.
Kira Hudson going for that line, straight down, just rotated her body a little bit too much on that follow-through swing.
Cardinal in front for the first time in this second set. They have yet to record back-to-back-to-back points so far tonight. Outstanding stuff from Kira Hudson.
Well, they went high, she went low. She saw those hands up and she went below the block with a powerful tip right through the seam. Wow.
And the split-second decision that you have to make in that instance.
It's fast.
Martin serving. Now Stanford will serve right back. 11-10 Cardinal. That brings up Kendall Kipp to serve. Hit just 137 against the Gators last year. Assisted on 6 blocks and had 6 digs to go on with 19 kills last year against the Gators. Stuckey, Hudson. Minor the back set to Sammy Francis. Adams swooping in from out of nowhere. Hudson with the finish.
Well, that was an impressive set by Stuckey. She's running over here towards our table across the court and bump sets that ball over. Not a high ball out there, but some nice tempo on the ball for her hitter to get good footwork there and put it away.
Well, how much better do you sleep at night when you have a setter like that?
Like a baby.
Emily Canan serving. Ogilvy keeps it alive. Rubin gets it down. 12-11 Stanford.
Rubin getting the kill, coming in. Everyone screaming at each other. Stanford getting some momentum on their side, but all started with an amazing one-handed dig by Ogilvy to keep that ball going.
12 kills against Northern Colorado, 16 against Colorado State. So she's been busy so far with the early going of this season. Sammy Francis finds the corner, 13-11.
Good vision, nice swing on that ball deep into the corner. No one there. Wide open for her to put that ball away. And again, some of these kills going down, not the hardest hits they've ever done, but good spots and good speed on the ball.
Placement.
Exactly.
Exquisite. Not so much there.
And Stanford not getting those serves consecutively in a row. I think they're getting good plays, momentum, and then they go back at a point, but not getting that second and third chance.
Yep. They still have yet to go on a 3-0 run so far in this one. Cardinal unable to handle that one. Wow. I don't think that's exactly how Sophia Victoria drew it up, but she'll take it.
I don't think so, but sometimes you just, weird things happen.
You just smile and keep it moving, right? Sophia Victoria, her sister Pilar played for Texas and Arkansas, was an All-American there. Led the NCAA in kills percent her senior season.
Volleyball family.
Yep, yes indeed.
There again, Florida bringing the pressure from the service line, passing air, which we don't see a lot of from Stanford. But overpass and Florida taking care of it. Anna Dixon serving well.
Yeah, Stanford has had its share of overpasses so far tonight. Dixon serving. Kip rising from the back row. And a much needed point for the Cardinal. Kip with her 7th kill of the afternoon.
Nice setup here, and Kip doing what she does best, is putting that ball away and keeping Stanford in this game.
Well, we saw the dump from Cami Minor earlier in this set. Alexis Stuckey showing that she can pull that off as well.
All right, now we know both setters can dump. Okay. Both deceptive, both coming in.
That gives Florida a 15-14 lead. Set number 2, a match that has been as advertised so far. Middle of the second set here at Maples between Florida and Stanford. And Florida with a bit of a youth movement, and a couple of the freshmen in particular, in Kira Hudson and Kennedy Martin. I know, Nicole, you had your eyes on both of them coming into this match, and as of right now, they have not disappointed at all.
Absolutely not, and that's for Florida. They lost their 2 big point scorer kill leaders. One of them was an All-American, Marina Markova. So, you know, they've got some big shoes to fill. When you lose the pin hitters, both of them, you're going to figure out who's going to step in. And both these freshmen, Martin and Hudson, have come in, and as we mentioned earlier, they came in the spring. So they graduated high school early, came in and got in January. And huge difference maker to come in, train with a team, have a spring season under your belt, learn what it's going to take, and they have really stepped into this role well. And one of my first questions to Coach Mary Wise was going to be, who are you going to look to? And I looked at the stats. I'm like, oh, I think she found her answer here with these 2 freshmen, because they're not having any problems.
Gators returned just 38% of their kill production from last year. As Canaan able to keep that one alive for the Gators. Kip, back row. Jordan Harvey, the wind. Give her the point. 15-all.
We've seen Harvey go down the line, but this one working hard to get off the net, coming in and cranking this one angle to the outside of their libero, McKissick.
Kevin Hambley says that Jordan can do a lot of the things that Kendall Kip can do. Maybe not quite at the same level, though, yet. Heads up play by Kip. Harvey. Saved by Canaan.
Another chance here for Stanford with a free ball.
Harvey starting to get hot.
She is bringing the heat, coming in, back-to-back kills, finding the open spot. Again, along the freshman line here she is coming in for Stanford. And, you know, it's not easy coming in as a freshman, stepping out of the court, especially these top-ranked schools. A lot of pressure, but handling it well. And, you know, as the more you play, experience you get, the more confidence you gain.
Jordan's dad, Anthony, played hoops at Utah. Utes come to Maples in November, by the way. Kendall Kipp with the smoker.
Well, and here's the run that Coach Mary Wise from Florida was talking about. Stanford last 3 points here with kills. So good idea to call a timeout. Try to stop the run if you can.
First time Stanford has been able to rip off back-to-back-to-back points so far in this match. Mary Wise noting that and calling the timeout here. Cardinal and the Gators, of course, no strangers against each other. Stanford leads this series 9-5. They've won the last 2 meetings. The previous one before tonight came last year in Gainesville. Back and forth it went. What a match it was. Stanford with the early advantage, but then Florida coming back and holding off things until the 5th set. But then Florida, unfortunately for them, just could not find a way through. Stanford with the big win in Gainesville by the time it was all said and done.
Well, these teams have a nice back and forth playing each other each preseason, and I mean, that's what you want. You want to play the top teams to get yourself better. Sure, you can go out and play teams and know you're going to win, but when you're playing at this level, you go back and you're like, okay, this is what we need to fine-tune if we want to beat the best. In that first set, Florida was actually up at 24 with set point to win. Stanford came back on a little run, and I think that's why she brought it up again. We've got to stop those runs because Stanford can go on them. They've got offensive power. They've got great ball control. And this second set, we've really seen Stanford bounce back and improve those 2 areas from the first.
Well, look at that hit percentage from Florida. If you're hitting 318 in a set, that's usually pretty good. But when you're allowing your opponent to hit 458, maybe not quite so much.
And again, an upgrade for Stanford from the first set at 138. So Florida did a nice job getting those blocks up, slowing down their attackers. And this set, Stanford has turned the heat back on.
Going back to that result last year, Kevin Hambley told us that that was the match that kind of helped solidify their identity. You know, they were still a relatively young team, still trying to figure things out. At that point in the season, the calendar hadn't turned to September yet, but that one kind of set them on their way. You need matches like that. If
you do.
Get to where you want to go.
Good timeout for Florida. Came out, handled the ball, and did exactly what they wanted to stop that run that Stanford started.
Trinity Adams is back to serve. Kept in by Rubin. Harvey gets it down.
I am loving Harvey right now and what she's doing from both pins. Coming in, that one coming in strong in the angle, thumb down, tooling the block. And again, when you have a tall block like Florida's bringing as well, you have to find ways to score. It's not always going to go down every single time hard. You got to tool the block, tip over it, be smart. Exactly what she's doing.
High fives for Harvey. She comes off the floor. Ogilvy with the dig. Redirected by Stuckey. Not exactly how you draw it up if you're Florida. And Stanford takes advantage, 19-16.
That's the thing with this game. It is so fast. You've got to be alert, ready, know where that ball's going, be ready to react in case of a wacky play like that last one.
Bevan the serve. Kennedy Martin with her 7th kill of the night.
That was quite a combination of power and slicing. Bringing the heat and slicing that one to the sideline right in between Stanford's block. Don't want to give her an inch because now we can see she can take it.
Boy, that's just filthy. Kipp. Rubin. Stuckey to back set. How about that from the Gators? 19-18.
Well, they're mixing up the tempo now. Back to Martin. They've given her high, a little bit lower, bringing her in quicker, trying to beat Stanford's block because you'll bet they're going to be trying to go back to her right now, end of set. Martin's going to be getting some sets because she's putting the ball away. So you've got to get 2 blockers in front of her and try to slow that down.
8 kills for Martin, hitting .368 right now.
With one error.
With one error.
Amazing.
She's not bad at the net either.
Well, that was a solo block, straight down, Kong block. Hands over the net. I mean, you can't even cover that. That was on the line separating these two sides.
So the Gators on a brief 3-0 run. 19-19. Which way will set number 2 go? We'll find out in a few moments. Back to Maples on Pac-12 Network. (19-19) here in set number 2. There's Hoover Tower off in the distance, not too far away from Maples Pavilion, as we take you inside a top 10 match. Number 2 Stanford, number 8 Florida. Glad you're here for us, or with us for it. Kendall Kipp, the good news, 9 kills, hitting .318 for the Cardinal. But Nicole, I'm sure if you're Kevin Hambly, you're thinking that you might want to start to see some other folks get involved as this match goes along.
Well, a little heavy with the distribution, I guess, as you know, Kipp gets a lot of sets. She has 22 so far, but yeah, to get those middles a little bit more involved, but you have to be passing the ball in a good spot in order to run that middle.
McKissick serving. Back to action.
And right now, Stanford really pedaled to the metal right now to get this second set, because Florida, a good team, has come out to play, and they've shown that they're serving tough, they're taking advantage of opportunities, so Stanford could get some strong serving from the line right now to get some points.
Here's Ogilvy. Clip the tape. Martin gets it down.
So close on that dig. Hand was just a little bit too high, one little adjustment lower, and that ball's coming up, but Martin is really their go-to, putting this ball away every chance she has.
And now she's back to serve. Miscommunication gives Florida the lead, 21-20.
And, you know, Stanford has offense that if the ball is not exactly perfect, they still can get a nice set, so just get that ball high middle. Florida is serving very well right now. Tough serves. So just get it in a decent spot, and, I mean, rely on the amazing setter. You have one of the best in the country with Minor, and she's going to be able to get a pretty sweet set to any of these hitters.
Taking care of the floor. Got to take care of the parts that take care of you. 21-20, Florida with the lead. Martin serving again. And Kipp helping to restore order for the Cardinal.
And she's always got a smile on her face, Kipp. After the kill, no matter what the score is, bringing the team together.
Well, as much fun as she seems to have out there, I'd be smiling too.
Yeah.
Gators back in the lead. Serve error for Stanford, their 11th tonight. Emily Canan, the sophomore from Allen, Texas. To Victoria. The set to Kipp. Martin from the back row. Too much.
Not quite on top of that back row attack. Got under the ball and didn't get that spin on it to bring it down. So Stanford, let's get that ball in the court. Give yourself a chance. You've got a great block, great offense. Try to get some points here to separate from Florida. But Florida's picking up everything and slowing the ball down at the block.
They're doing all the things right. And it continues for the Gators. They're ahead 23-22.
Florida powering that ball down the block, kind of went into the front of them, so a little separation with the net. That ball snuck down and rolled right down their arms.
Anna Dixon serving. Jordan Harvey gets it back for the Cardinal.
Well, Harvey has really stepped it up this match, getting a chance to come off the bench, and she has done an excellent job
Harvey, a state champion in volleyball and basketball, but one day she realized she enjoyed going to volleyball practice a little more than basketball. She also thought that she looked a little cooler playing volleyball too.
I mean, you get to wear knee pads.
That makes you look cool. Victoria gets the point.
Florida looking very smooth in their transition, getting chances. They're getting, like I said, they are getting a lot of balls up. Even if it's not pretty, they're throwing that arm up, and it's a decent ball up, and Stuckey's so talented. Really dishing out some nice sets to her hitters.
Set point.
All right, net violation, Florida in the net, so that's a break for Stanford.
Big break. Ties at 24. So set 2, still up for grabs. Cami Minor the serve. Minor's dad, Harold, played the NBA for the Miami Heat.
I have that in my notes too. A lot of NBA dads across the country with daughters. Wow.
Ooh, boy. How about that from Kennedy Martin? Boy, she just keeps adding to the highlight reel tonight, doesn't she?
She does. I mean, there are many options to take so far, and we're only in set number 2, but wow, she is coming in strong so long and just crushing it past the inside of that block angle.
Boy, stop Nicole mid-sentence. It's big-time stuff. Set point.
Okay, good decision there by Harvey. Going in, sets a little tight, pushes it back in the block, and if you can't cover it, why not try to push it out of bounds? Nice follow by Minor there. When it's close, any point of the game, you got to follow that ball to the end.
25 all. Got to win by 2.
Okay.
Now Stanford facing set point.
Florida calling the timeout. Now this is Stanford's been getting one good serve in and a point. They need to come back out of this timeout, keep that ball in, rely on your great block and setup that you have at the net right now, and believe they can get one more point.
How will set number 2 wind up? Let's find out together. Back to Maples in a moment. Pac-12 Women's Volleyball is brought to you by Watch Sports, the official live event guide of the Pac-12. Download today. Aren't you glad you're watching this right now? Florida took the first set, the second set up for grabs, but it's set point for the Cardinals. They lead the Gators here 26-25. Kennedy Martin has been superb for Florida. But who can get it done here to close out set number 2? We're tied again. This time at 26.
Now Ogilvy was in front of the line, which she cannot do. The ball cannot cross the break the plane. So that was the call on that fault. The libero has to be behind the line if the ball goes above the net to the attacker.
Ellie McKissick serving. Back set to Kip. Got it down. 27-26.
Now that was a beautiful play, a nice pass. Thought it was going a little bit tight, but no, Minor jumps up, middle's going up strong. She could have set any option she wanted. Florida stuck with the middle a little bit, which gives Kip a nice opening on the pin.
Gators not out of it yet.
Well, again,
placement by Hudson.
Very good. Hudson has nice vision, coming in strong every time, and really getting some nice power on that poke, or not poke, but tip.
Rubin the runner. Both will be on the spot. And it falls out of bounds. And once again, set point for Florida. Martin serving. Martin got it down. Gators up, 2-0. And right now, it's Kennedy Martin's world. An impressive way to begin the match for the Gators. They lead the Cardinal 2-0. Third set, straight ahead on the Pac-12 Network. Two sets into this highly anticipated match, and right now it is Florida in control. They lead the Cardinal 2-0. Troy Clarity, Nicole Brandon taking you through this one. Highlights for this one, mostly from the Florida Gators and mostly from this young lady, Kennedy Martin.
Well, you're only going to see a few highlights here, but let me tell you, I think we have enough for a whole show so far from Kennedy Martin. A freshman stepping in for Florida and owning it. She is coming in, crushing the ball from the front row, from the back row. We've seen her at the block, getting a great touch on a lot of these hits from Stanford, slowing the ball down. I mean, it is very impressive. 11 kills, only 2 errors, and she's hitting .375. I mean, coming in as a freshman and starting is hard no matter what. Coming into Stanford at Maples, they've only lost 9 games since Kevin Hambly's taken over against the #2 team in the country. I mean, I'd be a little bit nervous, but she looks very confident and poised out there and makes an error, bounces right back, no problem.
Martin impressive. Kendall Kipp has 11 kills for the Cardinal, but 11 serve errors for Stanford so far tonight. Set number 3 in just a moment, right here on the Pac-12 Network. Gorgeous evening here in Northern California, but right now it's the Florida Gators leading things here at Maples Pavilion, 25-19, 29-27 as we begin the third set. Troy Clarity and Nicole Brana here. Cardinals' upcoming schedule. Those aren't typos, folks. That's about as tough of a gauntlet as you can possibly have over the course of the next couple of weeks, and that's what awaits Stanford going forward.
Well, they don't take the easy road, that's for sure. They like to challenge themselves and prepare for a tough Pac-12 conference and NCAA tournament at the end of the year. But how do you get better? You play the best teams in the country, and that's exactly what Kevin Hambly likes to do with their scheduling. And look at that. I mean, I think they're all ranked teams in the top 20. And as we see here today against Florida, this has been a battle from the beginning, first serve. And it's not going to get any easier, but that is how you learn a lot. You get grit. How are you going to bounce back as a team? What are you going to do? What kind of adjustments can you make during the match? And they always seem to be prepared well.
There's the update you see on our score bug with Texas leading Minnesota. As we begin things here in the third set, and things begin pretty much as the second set ended. And Florida going up on top. Overall, Nicole, what do you want to see from Stanford? What adjustments would you like to see from the Cardinal here in this third set?
Well, I'd like to see get the middles involved a little bit more because Florida is touching a lot of the balls that are going outside of the pin and slowing them down, and they're getting opportunities to score in transition.
Like that?
There we go. Maybe I should say more things. You think, do they hear us when we're talking? But they need to get more of a diversity with the offense going to open up the pins for Kipp and Rubin on the outside because Florida is getting 2 blockers out there most of the time.
It's been one of the points of emphasis for Kevin Hambly and the squad this offseason. Get others more involved in the offense. Hudson denied. Point. Cardinal. 2-1.
Kind of stopped that swing as a little slap shot, and Francis got a good block.
Boy, is Stanford glad to have a healthy Sammy Francis back. Certainly for the start of the season. That hasn't been the case for the most part in her career. Francis helping things out on that sequence. Kipp. Right to Adams. Hudson gets it down.
That looked like that ball was going right into the Stanford block with a set, but Hudson got a nice hand on it and powered it through, just nicking that outside finger of the block.
Kind of a screwball a little bit.
Hard to see if I'm the ref. Glad I don't have to make those calls.
Kennedy Martin serving. And she'll do it again. But the Gators ahead 3-2.
Well, she is a threat on the attack and also a threat from the service line.
11 kills, 2 digs, 3 blocks, and now 2 serve aces. Hudson rising high. Ogilvy sets, and Kip gets it down.
Nice high reach by Kip on that ball to clear the double block of Florida. Good placement on the court. Is that veteran experience coming in? Knowing when to hit hard, when to tip it.
And now Kip back to serve. Florida back on top now, 4-3. 12th serve error for the Cardinal.
Well, I saw her play Kip last year and thought, wow, unbelievable. And Coach Hambley said she's even got more range this year, so look out.
Just stunning to think about. Doesn't seem possible. Rubin tries the long line and gets the point off the touch. 4-4.
Well, with Florida getting a lot of touches on the block, Stanford's hitting down into their block, so the way the touches are coming off are nice and popped up to recover them. That one I liked better. It was a little bit high and flat, hitting the fingertips, not able to be covered.
McKissick recovers. Dixon with the big wine. Makes it 5-4 Florida. Anna Dixon began her collegiate career at Kansas State and then transferred to Missouri. Now finishing up in Gainesville. Had 27 kills against Auburn a couple years ago. Tigers versus Tigers back in her Missouri days. SEC has 3 different Tigers. I never understood that.
Maybe different color Tigers.
I mean, that helps, but still. Meanwhile, that's Gabriel Essex for the Florida Gators. There's only 1 Gators in the SEC. Here's Harvey, who had some nice moments in the second set. Dixon helps Florida recover. Back set, Kip, got it.
Hard to stop that. She's coming in strong with some major power. I think I'd probably try to just move out of the way. I don't know. Looks like that play Florida did a little bit.
Make a business decision, so to speak.
Safety decision.
Here's Coco Kirsch, our first look at her, the freshman from Southern California. How about that for a big line from Essex?
Nice serve, but Stanford in the net.
Gabrielle Essex, at age 12, she could reach 10 feet 8 inches high.
Wow. Maybe that's right when they recruited her. They got that stat, I'd sign her up right away.
That'll get you on some teams' radars. Kip with the heat-seeking missile.
Looking for a touch on that one, but just outside of the block.
Yep, 8-5 Florida now. I don't think I can touch 10 feet 8 inches now.
I'll let you go on my shoulders.
give me a boost. Here's Alexis Stuckey, the sophomore from Laramie, Wyoming. Stuckey sets. Martin gets blocked.
That was a straight down for Harvey. That's feeling good. And Martin over here, she's just shaking it off. Nice block by Stanford, and that's exactly what they need to do. They need to slow Martin down, get some big blocks on her, get some good touches, try to get her out of her game. And that was right on the line. Wow, what a serve. I think that's what they've been going for all night, but been going a little bit too long, but that was the perfect one, dropping on the end line, trying to push Florida back, having to push the ball a little bit harder up to the net.
Minor the back set once again. Florida somehow able to get it over. Essex with the heads-up play. But Harvey retaliates. And now we're tied.
Little bit of a pinball machine play over there for Stanford in Florida, but one thing's for sure, all of these athletes are flying after that ball no matter where it goes to try to keep it alive.
I see Stanford softball head coach Jessica Allister sitting courtside. That ball almost went into her lap.
Did she bring her mitt?
Stanford softball, of course, coming off a fantastic season, making it to Oklahoma City, Women's College World Series. Allister has really turned that program around, and I know there are a lot of happy people walking around here as a result of it. Eight, set number 3. Gators have taken the first 2. Cardinals trying to swing it back in their direction. There's the big hammer from Victoria. Victoria had just 4 kills against Stanford last year, actually hit -117. Faring
doing quite well this year against Stanford.
Faring a lot better, 7 kills, hitting .353. Trinity Adams back to serve. Martin and Essex converging, forming a brick wall at the net.
Well, there we go. Martin 6'6". Then we've got Essex out there at 6'3", so that is a tall block to try to get by. And they are getting both Gators out there with a closed block against Kip, and that's hard to beat. Love that. Love that shot. Coming in hard, looking like she's going to go for the crank. Really has the defense back on their heels, and a beautiful tip right over the block, just out of reach. So they can't turn off that block and even try to get it up.
A reminder that Jordan Harvey is a freshman, folks. Just playing in her 3rd match on the collegiate level. Off the touch, Gators get the point, 11-9. Kissick serving. She is in Florida's top 10 in career digs. And climbing. Well, how about that missile from Rubin? A rocket.
Perfect set from Minor to the outside. One blocker up. Got to get that going for Stanford a little bit more to help these pin hitters. Martin going to reach in, but Rubin just gets it past her.
Hudson. Taylor Bevan in the right place.
Nice.
And Elia Rubin hammers it down.
Now that's a play right there. Beautiful up, play out in the back row, and what I loved about it was it had nice lift for Minor to get under that ball and get it out to her hitter.
Oaklivy serving again. Altered by Kip. Out of bounds. Cardinal back on top.
Good strong block from Stanford, covered by Florida, but a little miscommunication on their side of who was going to get that second contact.
Cardinal trying for their first 4-0 run of this match. Off Ogilvy, and the point for the Gators. Ties it up, this time at 12.
Now that is not easy to do. A very fast spinning ball is coming over. Anna Dixon waiting patiently, going up and just cranks it down.
Martin serving. Sammy Francis directing that one down.
You know, with the Florida block releasing, going to those pins, the middles are open, that one-on-one, love to see it. Love to see Stanford getting these middles more involved and getting them some more chances.
5 kills for Francis, just 1 block for her so far tonight. Misdirected. Not much the Gators could do there. Francis. And the point for the Cardinal. Stanford up by 2. Dove down in front of Adams.
Mishandled ball by Dixon on that, kind of came right at her face, just couldn't get under it enough.
And Stanford is ahead 15-12 in the 3rd set, looking to win their first set of the evening. 12. Gators took the first 2 sets. Stanford has found a bit of a rhythm as the Cardinal lead in this 3rd set, 15-12. What sort of adjustments have you seen from the Cardinals so far in this?
Well, they've gotten the middles involved a little bit more, so the pin hitters have 1 blocker up. Also, the middles are having one-on-ones because Florida's used to releasing, I think they're going a little bit early, knowing that the Kip and Ruben are getting a lot of sets, so they're kind of leaving that middle alone once in a while. And they're keeping their serve in, so they're giving themselves some opportunities to rely on their block and defense, which we know is very good as well.
Yeah, they've had 3 3-0 runs the Cardinal have had so far in this set. And they couldn't really get anything going for much of the first 2.
And now Florida trying to on it, right? Calling a timeout, so Stanford's got to come out, get that serve in, and keep this momentum rolling. They're down 2 sets. We played a 5, so they're going to need to win these next 3 sets if they want to beat Florida.
Florida Gators coming west, and I asked Mary Wise when you and I chatted with her, Nicole, before the match. I asked her, what sort of variables do you have to throw into it when you actually come west? And she said, look, we're actually fine. School's in, but we're still on East Coast time, so we're allowed to get class in as normal and have practice later in the day. But the real issue is heading back east, especially for this trip. More on that in a second. Dixon winds and puts it down. Now it's 15-13. Of course, with tropical storm / hurricane Idalis coming in on the Sunshine State, as of right now, Florida isn't exactly sure how they're getting back to Gainesville. Right now, the plan seems to be to get to Atlanta. Of course, you're flying down south. You have to go through Atlanta sometime. And see if they can get back to Gainesville from there. So, we wish Florida well on their travels back. We wish everyone, all of our friends in the Sunshine State, the very best as they fight through that. 16-13 Stanford. Here's Elia Rubin serving. Just bounces on the wrong side of the line if you're Stanford. 16-14.
It's that long serve again, just 1 or 2 ball lengths out of bounds.
The serve from Dixon. Met at the net.
Setter dynamic duo at the net. Meat and Stuckey got on top of that ball a little more. And the key with the joust, as we would call this, is the second press down. So if you've got the second, you feel that first press from the other player, you get that second touch on the ball strong, and that's exactly what she did.
Tried to go cross court. Point for the Cardinal.
Well, that spot looked open from here. I like how she came in on that angle, just a little bit too long, but I like the off speed and that angle that she took.
Francis out for the Cardinal for the moment. Coco Kirsch back in. Kirsch is serving. Twisting down the tape. Victoria gets that one to fall.
Well, she was going for a much sharper angle on that one and luckily hit the top of the net and helped her a little bit to keep that ball in bounds.
Alexis Stuckey serving. The long hours, the lonely hours, as Mary Wise puts it, as she puts in the gym, away from practice and away from competition. McKissick handles that one. Victoria again.
Oh, out of bounds, but well, that's a break for Florida. That was a net by Stanford. And going back to Stuckey and the setting position, it is all about repetitions going in, and she said she'll go in at, you know, days before alone in the gym, just repping it out, trying to figure out those different sets.
You know how I can tell Alexis is a coach's kid? Doing things like that. Meanwhile, Kennedy Martin has decided to re-enter the chat. Her 13th kill of the night.
So Florida is playing some nice, clean volleyball, getting a nice up. And Stuckey just setting beautifully. Martin elevating. She's been nearly unstoppable tonight. Stanford has not been able to find an answer to slow her down.
Cardinal were ahead 16-13, but the Gators have taken the lead. Well, Stanford did something earlier this summer that, as a squad, it was not able to do and had not done since 2018. They went on an international tour. Check out these pictures. Turkey, Czech Republic, Slovenia, and Croatia. Their first international journey as a team in 5 years. Looks like they had a lot of fun, and coaches love these kinds of things for team bonding, and plus you get to participate in kids camps like they did here in Slovenia.
Absolutely great for team bonding. I mean, so awesome to have this experience together with the coaches and to play top level competition overseas. You know, it's high level, makes you better. They're very special memories. We went to Japan when I was in college, and I'll never forget that trip. A lot of training though, but worth it.
Fantastic experiences for those young ladies. Great memories, but right now they're living in the present, trying to figure out how to restore order here in this third set. Meanwhile, Florida on a 3-0 run, trying to keep it going. Overall, they have scored 6 of the last 8 points in this match, the Gators have.
And the efficiencies of both teams are above 300, so when you look at the stats, you just think, what's going on here? But Florida is just doing a nice job slowing the ball down, getting the chances, and putting it away. And Stanford hasn't been able to find an answer to slow Martin down.
Into the net. Point for the Cardinal. Well, Jordan Harvey has put together some nice moments so far this evening. Harvey now with 9 kills tonight. Minor on the serve. Martin got it. Holy smokes.
I just put my hand to my forehead like, I don't know what to say. That was coming in, and she's hitting over the block, coming in angle, turning this one down the line, hitting over the block. It's impressive.
Safe to say she's perhaps in the zone right now?
Safe to say, yes. But going off the numbers from this past weekend, I think she was also in a zone as well. Could just be her game.
Scramble for it, and got it down. Neither Stuckey nor Hudson could get there in time. Kendall Kipp's 14th kill of the night. Taylor Bevan back to serve. Do I need to say right now?
I think the viewers know. She's playing very well, poised. I mean, I would even say watching this match, you would think she was a veteran player, because even when she makes a mistake, which hasn't been a lot tonight, she's very light out on the court, confident. It's impressive.
And just terrific placement and velocity. Right at the net, but the point goes for the Cardinal. 20-20.
Nice turn, thumb down here from Kipp off the block.
Hudson gets it.
Well, Hudson attacking the high hands and swinging across her body, which makes that ball fly out of bounds off the Stanford block.
Kira Hudson, an introvert by nature, let her play speak for her until her high school senior season when she was the only team's returning starter. Take more of a leadership role. Sammy Francis stepping to the fore for the Cardinal. 21-21.
I'm loving that, Francis. She's coming in and she's getting the chances, and Francis is getting the chances. You like that?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Well, she's putting it away. So whenever they're getting it to her, she's scoring and getting some great points for Stanford.
Straight into the net. 22-21, Florida. 14th serve error tonight for Stanford. Stuckey, back row mark. Kipp. For a second it appeared that Canaan had it, but nope.
Another rally with a lot of blocks from both sides, a lot of coverage. Ends with Florida in the net. This is Stanford has got to get something going right now to win this set, to extend it. Right now, Stanford's middles are both error-free. Francis hitting above 500. McKenna Vicini above 400. So when they're getting their the opportunities, they are scoring and doing very well. Just keeping that pass going so that the Miner's able to set the middles.
I think we have a second look at things forthcoming for the officials. They might be looking at the attack. Just making sure that folks were where they were supposed to be. They take a look at the monitor. A potentially critical call here, with Florida ahead 2-0. Winning the first set 25-19, and it took them a while in the second set, 29-27. Florida was able to finish it off there. So
all right.
Call confirmed. Stanford gets the point. Here's what the officials saw. So that's the look at it. And we're back to action. Stuckey tries the dump, and it works. Caught the Cardinal unaware.
Caught them off guard. Kipp was there, got under it, not quite a lift obviously, but out of the net. And when it goes into the net, still playable if you can get low to lift the ball up. Just got a little bit too much power on that dig.
Stuckey with U.S. Youth National Team experience. Spent the summer with the under-21 squad. Won gold. Of course, her mom, Jill, an assistant at Kansas for 10 years, an associate head coach at Wyoming. Oh, by the way, also a 9-time 4-H horse state champion back in Wyoming. Showmanship and Western horsemanship among the specialties she's racked up in that endeavor. Back set from Minor. We're back to action. It's long. And now it is match point for the Gators.
Francis does get up so high when she goes on that back slide. Love her footwork. Just a little bit too long on the attack. And this is a chance for Florida to come back. They've been serving well all game. Stanford's been struggling a little bit with their serve and their serve receive.
Well, Stanford coming back this year loaded. Not just returning the coach of the year, but also award-winning players as well. The libero of the year in Ogilvy, the setter of the year in Minor, the actual player of the year in Kendall Kipp. This squad is going to give everyone some trouble for the remainder of the season going forward.
Absolutely, all the starters back. I think they had 6 preseason all Pac-12 selections on the list.
We should mention that Katie Baird injured, not playing tonight. Kevin Hambley hoping for maybe when the Cardinal head out to Texas to play that game coming up on Sunday. So no Katie Baird for the Cardinal in this one. But still Stanford super deep, hoping that that depth equates into a longer run in the postseason. The postseason right now very, very far away in the future. But here and now for Stanford, it's match point for Florida. Florida players doing the chomp. Dixon serving. Stanford trying to extend it. Gators trying to close it out. Sammy Francis handles things 24-23.
Keeping them alive. Again, giving that back slide behind Minor. It's when the middle blocker goes behind the setter. Francis does it very well, getting up high. Nice contact on that one.
8 kills for Francis. Kirsch serving. Back row, Martin gets it down. And that'll do it. Number 8, chomps number 2. The Florida Gators, in 3 sets, sweep the Stanford Cardinal. And for the second time in 3 matches, Florida beats a top 10 team. Impressive stuff for the Gators here tonight.
Well, the Gators came out strong from point number 1, serving tough, and again, stopping Stanford's offensive attack, getting great touches on the block, and they were capitalizing when they had the chance. And Stanford did not have an answer for Kennedy Martin tonight. They just weren't able to slow her down, and she was a difference maker, that is for sure. But Stanford, strong team, starters back, they're very talented, so I expect them to bounce back from this, no problem.
Kennedy Martin, the reigning SEC Player of the Week. Last week, perhaps the leader in the clubhouse for that award again here this week. 16 kills for the freshman, 15 for Kendall Kipp. On behalf of our Pac-12 Network broadcast crew, my partner, Nicole Brannon, I'm Troy Clarity. Thanks for joining us tonight from the farm. The Gators sweep the Cardinal in impressive fashion.